Hey guys, welcome to the channel, or welcome back if you've been here before. My name is Melody, and today we're focusing on acrylic paint, which is not something that I've done a whole lot with, so disclaimer up front, I don't completely know what I'm doing. I did, however, think it might be fun to show you what I learned in this little journey with acrylic paint and just show you my process for this little painting in my sketchbook. So first I started out with swatches. Honestly, I don't think I've used acrylic paint since like junior high. Like my junior high art class, I think I used acrylic paint for something, and I haven't used it since then. So it's been like 10 years, something along those lines, and obviously the acrylic paint I used back then was not Winsor & Newton acrylic paint. So the quality, I'm sure, is a lot different. Honestly, I can't even remember what it felt like then, so it would be hard to make a comparison. What I wanted to start out with here was swatching all the colors. So the first few colors I swatched were straight out of the tube. I bought myself 2 blues, a red, a yellow, a black, and a white. Later there will be a close-up and you can see which specific shades I bought. But I also have been wanting to learn more about mixing colors. Because I had a limited color palette to start with, I really needed to learn how to mix colors in order to get other colors. For instance, I really like the burnt orange color right now, and so I wanted to try to create that. Obviously, I went through a bunch of other shades first because I wanted that to be my end destination, but I wanted to try to achieve some other colors as well, like the teals you can kind of see in the middle, and then we got some nice purples going on. And I will show you in a moment how I achieved each one. You can kind of see in this video though. I think what really made me want to learn about mixing colors was the watercolor paintings that I recently did as commissions, because while my tendency would typically be to just go in and use the colors that I have in my palette and not really mix them that much, I needed to mix colors. I needed to have grays and get specific teals and that kind of thing, because I was, in the last one, doing the Seattle skyline. So I did need specific colors for that. And I managed to actually achieve that. And I was a little bit proud of myself, honestly, because it's not something I've really ever tried to do. Like one of the things that I thought was interesting was a dark brown color mixed with like a dark blue made gray. Still not entirely sure how that works. It kind of makes sense when you think about it, but at the same time not really. I think the more you mix colors and the more you see, you know, what this thing mixed with this thing turns into, the more it just kind of becomes intuitive. You can see, oh, this is the color I'm starting with, and in order to achieve this next color, I need to make it a little bit cooler, so maybe I'll add some blue. Or I need to make it a little bit warmer, so maybe I'll add red. Honestly, if you are trying to learn how to mix colors, I'm sure there's a lot of tutorials and stuff online. I'm sure there's probably Skillshare classes for it, as every artist on YouTube would probably tell you, but, you know, I'm not sponsored, this is a small channel, maybe one day. But I've never actually used Skillshare, and I feel like if I was going to be sponsored, I'd want to have actually used it and know what it's like. Anyway, now that that small rant is over, let's get back to the painting. Like I said, I hadn't really used acrylic in like 10 years or something ridiculous like that, so I really just wanted to get a feel for it, and honestly I didn't know really what I was doing. It started off honestly inspired by cobblestone being rained on, so I was trying to like do some sort of abstract thing with that, and I wanted light reflecting off of it, so that was going to be the orange, and you know, you can look at the painting and see that that's not what happened. I probably should have chosen a much better reference photo if I'm being honest, but yeah, here I'm just putting white dots. I'm still trying to go for that cobblestone sort of situation, and I was honestly surprised by how quickly the paint dried. It did take its time, especially when you layered it up a lot, but the black coat had started to dry by this point when I was using the brush to smear things out. And I really liked the texture that I got, almost kind of like a streaky texture using that dry brush on top of the wet paint that's on top of dry paint. So I had also decided I wanted blues because I think orange and blue, correct me if I'm wrong, are complementary colors. If not, they look nice together, and the burnt orange with kind of a brighter blue I thought really complemented each other well. Here I was attempting to splatter the paint, which obviously didn't work. The paint was way too thick. I tried watering it down, but that didn't even work. Maybe if I had watered it down even more? Let me know if you've done this successfully before. I feel like the best way that I could have done it would have been to use a really big brush and use my entire arm to just throw the paint at it. But obviously this is a small sketchbook and I did not want to make that much of a mess. And then here I decided I liked the little streaky things, so let's just streak everything. And I just keep going for it. I keep streaking. And everything kind of starts to blend together. I think really what I learned from doing this painting is that you need to know when to stop. And I'm glad I didn't stop at this point because honestly I did not know where this painting was going to go. I didn't know if it was going to turn out well. It is my sketchbook, and artists I think need to just not be afraid to sketch in their sketchbook, and they need to not be afraid to make mistakes. Because in order to discover the things that you really love and the techniques that work for you, you're gonna go through a bunch that don't. And you're gonna have an ugly art stage like this where it just looks horrendous. And you're gonna have those drawings that just make you want to cry and wonder why you even draw at all. But eventually you'll break through it and you will get to the point where you find something that you like and you find what works for you. And then you just move forward and you repeat that process all over again, and that's eventually how you develop your style. Would I say I'm a complete expert or that my style is completely put together or that I know what I'm doing? No, but I think there's a lot of artists that are the same way, where they feel like maybe they don't really have it all together, they're having a bad day, and even those that are super successful, I think at times can be really hard on themselves. But as an artist, you have to just keep creating. Keep working through the art block, work through your bad art. If you need to take a break and come back to stuff, but you have to push through if you want to eventually make something that looks good. And really, you have to think of all the artists that you admire. They had that phase too. They had the phase of not knowing what they were doing, drawing endless eyeballs everywhere, and drawing bad anime, and eventually they broke through and created the art that they're creating now. And you also have to realize this is not where you started. Or maybe it is and you're just beginning, but you probably drew when you were like 5 or 6 years old. Look back on those art pieces, I'm pretty sure you've probably improved. So, you know, you'll just keep improving if you keep doing it. Just keep painting or drawing or whatever it is. Anyway, you'll see here that I tried to do some upstrokes instead of ones that are just sideways, but I thought it looked really awkward, so I stopped. And you can see that this also still just looks so weird. And here I was trying to get that splatter paint effect by just dabbing the brush on the paper, which obviously did not work. But again, I was here to experiment and try to figure out what on earth I was doing and how to use acrylics. So then I just kept adding paint because I hadn't done enough smearing and enough streaking of all this paint. So I just added more. Anyway, back to the whole making mistakes in your sketchbook thing. It's gonna happen. I will probably, okay, I'm not gonna say that. I will hopefully have a sketchbook tour coming up in the next month. I have 14 pages left. I should be able to fill it, right? I say that, but then it's probably not gonna happen. It probably won't happen for another 2 or 3 months because I have commissions and stuff I'm working on. Anyway, I did this thing, this little segment right here in real time so you can see how slow I am. Also, when I don't know what I'm doing, I just tend to be a little bit slower. Anyway, again, back to the sketchbook thing, it's the same thing when you're working in science, and I'm a chemist, and I don't work in, I'm not making inventions, I don't work in research, but you're gonna make your mistakes. You're gonna try something and you're gonna fail. It's like Edison with the light bulb. You keep trying, you keep failing, and eventually you're gonna succeed. So if you're having a hard time with your art right now, just keep at it. Know that it will get better eventually. You just gotta push through it, persevere, and discover the things that you enjoy doing and that work for you, and I'm sure you will be successful. Just remember that if no one else is, I'm rooting for you. And that was my little pep talk for the video. Sorry guys, I'm kind of in a weird mood. Also, did you notice I just literally painted on the tape? That one little dash of white paint only on the tape, and it will get peeled off. And I'm sorry, somehow me peeling the tape off at the end didn't get filmed. I know that's probably the most satisfying part of this video. Maybe next time I'll film it. But you'll notice that I am going in with a much smaller brush to do some small strokes on top, because I thought the contrast between the really large strokes and the smearing would go well with some smaller strokes. And I think it turned out okay. I think the piece could be a little bit cleaner, but considering the fact that I was really just experimenting with everything, I really enjoy how it turned out. I feel like it has that hotel painting vibe going on, that modern art kind of thing. And quite frankly, I've never really understood people who did that kind of art, because it was just not the kind of thing that I ever did, so I just didn't understand it. It didn't make sense to me. But doing it now, it's honestly so relaxing to just put blobs of paint on places and smear it around. You should try it sometime. This painting, while an experimentation, is also practice for a much larger painting that I will be doing soon, and will hopefully be the next art video I upload on the channel. If not the one after this, it'll be the one after the one after this, and it's going to be on a huge canvas, so stay tuned for that. I bought some much larger brushes to achieve the same effect, but because it's such a huge area, I need the giant brushes. Anyway, that's about it for this video. So you guys know the drill. If you haven't already, please subscribe. I'm a small channel. Give me a thumbs up. Comment if you have anything to say to me. Click the bell icon so you can be notified every time I put up a video. I put up a lot of art videos and I have vlogs. So if you're interested in any of those, definitely give me a thumbs up. And I'll see you guys in the next one.